Do 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 do. It's Indiana Jones. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and I'm continuing my series of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I'm so glad that I've dedicated one video per movie, because it would be so hard to do this list in like one video and try to talk about all 5 of these movies. Plus, there's a lot of movies out there that could just easily be in my top 5. So I'm glad I did it this way. It gives me time to think things through and really get into detail. And you've guessed it, my number 4 video is on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That was my whip sound. It wasn't as good. Point. I loved this movie so much. It is probably my favorite Indiana Jones movie there is. And that's not knocking any of the other Indiana Jones movies, because I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. Temple of Doom, it's not my favorite, but it's fantastic. And it has a lot of great stuff in it. And it's a great story. And Short Round, he's such a classic character. And you know, even Kingdom of the Crystal Skull holds a place in my heart. Is it that good? No. Does it have a fantastic plot? No. Were the aliens awesome at the end? No. But it's Indiana Jones, and for that simple reason alone, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull holds a special place in my heart. But my favorite of this series is The Last Crusade, and I'll tell you why. It's the first Indiana Jones movie I ever saw, but not only is it the first Indiana Jones movie I ever saw, I think it's the second movie I remember seeing on the big screen. The first movie I remember seeing on the big screen being The Predator, and my only memory of that is being a small child and hiding my head in my dad's chest with my eyes looking out at the aisle of the theater and the lights that were leading up to the exit and hearing the crazy noises of the Predator and Arnold Schwarzenegger yelling and, you know. You know, to this day, I still have not seen The Predator all the way through. But this is the second movie that I remember seeing on the big screen, and I did have hype for this movie before I went and saw it. Like, my mom, you know, was gonna go see it with her best friend, and because I was a kid and she probably didn't have a babysitter, she told me she was gonna take me. Now, I hadn't seen any trailers or anything for it. My mom said it was like a cowboy movie, and the only reason she said that is because of his hat. And so I start picturing this type of cowboy movie, and I kept calling him Anna Jones, because Indiana Jones was apparently far too hard of a word for me as a child to grasp. But I remember when I saw this movie on the big screen, it absolutely captured my imagination. It was just such a fun movie. I mean, first off, Sean Connery and Harrison Ford together on screen, those guys are absolutely fantastic. I love Sean Connery in this movie. I love the dynamic between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. It seriously took something and it elevated it. Something that was already great, and it took it to like another level. Again, for me, this was the first level. This was my first movie that I've seen with Indiana Jones. But still, even when I go back, I just feel like when you have Sean Connery in there and you have that father-son dynamic between those two, it truly does add something. It's also funny that Sean Connery was only 12 years older than Harrison Ford when they did this movie. And growing up in a Christian home and things like that, it did help that you had Indiana Jones going after a Christian relic, the Holy Grail, the cup of Christ, the cup that caught his blood, and you know, their quest to find that. And on top of the fact, I've always had a special place for Arthur legend. I love the legends of King Arthur and the knights and the round table and all that stuff. So this movie kind of playing off of that. They're going on the quest for the Holy Grail. There's just so much to like. But I think the real reason it's my favorite is just because of my love for it as a child. You know how those things can just sort of imprint on you? This movie, The Last Crusade specifically, imprinted on me when I was a kid. There's so much I love about Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's so much that's iconic. There's only good things I have to say about Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom. But it was The Last Crusade that I saw first. So the fun between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. Those hilarious scenes where they're tied together in a chair, the building is burning. Junior, the floor is on fire. I mean, just great moments like that are... So in the end, for me, my love for this movie, it goes beyond anything technical I could say about it, any review I could give it. It just goes back to the impression it made on me as a child of what a pure, fun ride this movie is. And here, as a grown-up, I could sit back and watch this movie and be transported back to that time when I was a child, to the first time I watched it. And I'm just feeling that same joy, that same fun all over again watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Do you have a movie that's like that for you? Where, yeah, if you wanted to look at it technically, you could find flaws and problems, but it just left that imprint on you that to this day when you watch it, you don't care about any of that technical stuff. It's just a movie that makes you happy. Let me know what that is in the comments. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button and become a Durbanian. Next to the subscribe button is that bell. Make sure you click that. That way you're notified the moment I drop a new video. I'm continuing my series of reviewing the Fast and the Furious franchise with Matique. We're almost done with the first 7 that have come out, getting ready for Fast 8. All kinds of cool things I'm super excited about. Check that out and all the other really awesome videos on this channel. I'm Durbin. Thank you for checking out Durbania.